Alright, YouTube. So today's the day. I'm taking this tractor over to my uncle's. It's early, it's about 6. I just drove home from Watertown, Fort Drum area. I got stuck about 70 miles from home last night, ran out of hours. So got home first thing in the morning. Plan is to take this apart today and see what's inside that motor as far as ordering parts and stuff. So here I am, try to see if it'll fire up. I don't think it will. And then we'll take it over to my uncle's house right down the street, put it in his garage, get a fire going, and it's supposed to be Dad and Grandpa helping me tear it apart, so we'll see what happens. We'll get back with you guys here in a little bit. Alright guys, you see that? Zoom in here. Step 1 complete. Get a fire going. Got the tractor out of the other garage, so we'll go ahead and get this fire roaring, and then we'll get that tractor towed over here. It didn't want to start. I didn't think it would. I left the little portable gas tank on there, and the vice grips were shutting the gas line off. Well, they let a little bit of gas through, so it pretty much just stayed flooded. I'm pretty sure the float's messed up on that carburetor. Or not messed up, had an adjustment I should say. So anyway, I didn't mess with it too much. Got the old 3-lure fired up. Came over here and started a fire, starting to bring stuff over. Got my tripod and my monster. And we'll get started here pretty soon. Alright guys, so tractor's in the garage. Here goes nothing. Gonna pull off this bumper and then see if I can get that hood off. Start pulling the battery and stuff out. And then still early yet, not even 8 o'clock yet, so we'll get started here pretty quick. Alright, there's part number 1. I went to take those off. One side's got a 1-inch nut and one side's got 1 1/8, and they're both about finger tight, so should be interesting to see what else we got in store for this thing. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the hood off. I don't know how I'm gonna do this video. I'm doing video clips to help myself when I put it back together. So for the more difficult pieces or whatever, or if I get stuck somewhere, or just to try to remember stuff. So kind of do a little bit of video log. Okay, well, I'm not really gonna do like a how-to, but we'll get as much of it as I can. So catch you guys back. All right, so we got the hood off. There was just the 4 bolts in the front. They bolted there, and there was 1 bolt on each side down here, and then we pulled the plugs. We're going to do a quick compression test just to see where we're at. Alright, so drain the radiator, took both hoses off, then found the drain plug, of course. 2 bolts just in the bottom, and the rest is just held together by the hoses. So we got that off. Working on taking the alternator off. Compression test showed like 95 or 100, 90, 90, 90 on the compression test. So we're going to still take it apart and check the head because it's still burning a lot of white smoke. So we'll get those off. I'm going to put these bolts back in so I don't forget them. And she's going to need a radiator because it's got quite a bit of patches all down here, 2 or 3 on there, and then on the return hose. So moving on. Alright, so we got these 2 bolts here and here, just for the oil lines. And you got the oil line there, and then the other one down here. Just pop those off real quick. Now we're about to pull the head off and see what we got in there. So keep you guys on for that once we get it set up to take it off. Alright, so cut the head off. We're not seeing anything crazy between the cylinders or anything. So got it look like a newer head gasket, and the top of the pistons and everything looks real clean. So might not be in as bad shape as what we thought. There's no ridge on the cylinder, so maybe just a hone or something. So we'll be back in a minute, guys. Alright YouTube, so it's a couple hours later now, and back out here finally. Had to go home and watch the kids for a little while. So it's hard to do video and yeah, my dad and my grandpa helping out, just side conversation and stuff. I tried to do a couple clips of what I was doing, more for memory for myself, but also to get you guys some content. Basically what it is I think I've got a couple different problems. For one is that cheap aftermarket carburetor. I've heard a lot of different things about people saying, you know, they're not very good, and I know with the 3-lures, some people swear by them, but I've never had good luck with them. So I think what the moral of the story here is you kind of get what you pay for. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the Zenith carburetor. I'm going to buy a new radiator. That one's been just cobbled together so many times it's not worth trying to fix. And then I'm going to figure out the 12-volt system fully. I wish I knew someone who knew a lot about tractors. I don't. I know a lot of people know a little bit about cars, a little bit about this, a little bit about that, but not, you know, tractor experts. What they're saying on the forums is to get rid of this resistor, but this also looks like a resistor. So I'm not really sure, and then run full 12 volt. It's got the one wire 12 volt alternator, which is good. 12 volt battery, obviously. I'm gonna switch to negative ground, from what I understand. You know, this is the ground, and it goes to the body or the frame or whatever. This is on the hot side of the starter. So I think everything's pretty much, other than maybe eliminating this, and then buy a 12 volt coil, which isn't that bad, $40, $45 or whatever. Because I looked them up on Tractor Supply. Might be able to find them cheaper somewhere else. But I don't want to buy all cheap parts. So the engine itself looks like, I mean, I've never seen valves and taken something apart and had valves and pistons and everything. There's not even anything on them. They look like they just got done. So we're kind of leaning towards the idea maybe someone rebuilt this or started rebuilding it or got it all done and ran into, I'm thinking it might be an electrical and a fuel issue. So they might have had trouble chasing it down. And so I'm just going to replace the carburetor. I don't know a ton about carburetors. I don't feel like messing around with it too much. Might as well just do it. And people are saying that the Zenith carburetors are like a night and day. Supposed to be a huge upgrade and way better. They are expensive, almost $300. So I'll get that, and that'll settle that, and we'll get this wiring figured out to where we're 100% sure on that. New plugs, and you know, of course, the radiator and stuff like that. So now what I'm going to do, of course I need gaskets now, but I'm real happy with that. The compression we did was 90, 90, 90, and 100 on all 4 cylinders, and then you know it's only going to get better once we actually run it and stuff like that. So I think it'll be all right, and I don't think it was. I think you know might have it was a cheap sorry guys, cheap compression tester that I was using, one of just the hold ones. You just hold over the spark plug hole. You know, so not one of the screw-in ones. So the compression might have been a hair higher. Might have had a small leak, and also none of the head bolts were torqued down very hard. So also could be a factor. Another thing I was thinking too is there's 2 bolts here, or 2 studs there, and 2 or 3 of those had been taken off for someone to convert to 12 volt. If they didn't take those off in sequence, or at least loosen the rest of them, that's enough right there to you know cause the head to lose some compression. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a new head gasket anyway, clean everything up. So that's what I'm doing now, as I'm over here by myself, and we're just getting ready to. I'm gonna start cleaning stuff up and get ready to go. The other thing we noticed is it's always sat crooked. Never looked too far into it. I thought maybe that tire was soft. That tire was replaced because it has less dry rot. It says 11.2 by 28, which I'm thinking 11.2 wide, 28's the rim, but I don't know the height. So that's a good tire. This one's not bad, but it's got quite a bit of dry rot, but it's taller. It's almost 3 inches taller. So that's where the issue is with that. So we've got some parts to order. Gasket set, carburetor, radiator, and coil, and then eventually a tire. I think it'll be okay to run it like that for a little while. And then I gotta look into the rear bearings. The rear bearings got a little bit of slop in them. I took the wheel off to see if it was a tapered shaft, to where maybe they just needed taken up, maybe they just need to tighten down. But it's a different setup, so we'll need to replace those bearings eventually. But number one is to get this thing running better, so go ahead and get working on that. But that's enough rambling on for now, guys. I just wanted to keep you guys updated and let you know where I was at and what I was doing and what the progress is. So I just came back over, got the fire humping, getting it ready to go, getting it nice and warm in here, and I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up on some stuff. So anyway, I'll get the die grinder out and the little rubber wheel and start cleaning up on stuff. We'll get you guys back in a little bit.